And this is not just the system conditioning us. This is people rebelling who are authors and artists and filmmakers. I mean, I talk to a lot of these people. And, of course, it's The City of Falling Angels by the author of Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. And the New York Times says a urbane and beautifully fashioned book, #1 New York Times bestseller, John Burnett. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And here it is. And it's just so incredible that on page 92, it talks about Operation Gladio and how the Italian prime minister talked to him about how our government stages terror attacks to set up a police state. And, of course, this same Italian prime minister's gone public 2 years ago saying 9/11's an inside job. That's not in the book, at least as far as we know. We haven't gotten through the book yet. But just a side point example of how the awakening to false flag terror is really exploding. All right, we're going to come back into the most important information in this whole rant that I'm laying out and how we can stop these people. When New York Times #1 best-selling authors like John Burnett are writing books about real U.S. government stage terror, you know the system has got a serious, serious problem. And that's what's so amazing about it. 4 years ago, Gary Hart, and we actually have a clip of this in my film Truth Rising, where We Are Change talked to him. He wrote a public letter to Ahmadinejad, and he said, the U.S. government staged the Gulf of Tonkin and other events like the Maine. We will stage events in the future. Don't think we won't attack you if you don't do what you're told. We will stage terror attacks. And we went and talked to him, and he said, yeah, I said that. I wrote him the letter. Now, this is Gary Hart, who wrote up the Homeland Security Plan in 1993 with Bill Clinton. This is the guy at the Council on Foreign Relations in 2000 with the Hart-Rudman Commission that wrote up the current plan we're living under. He said, we're going to use this disaster, 9/11, to establish a new world order. Remember that quote. In fact, people won't believe it. Well, you guys, when you get a chance, I don't need it right now, search engine the term on YouTube. It'll be for my films, but it was on C-SPAN. It'll be Gary Hart says use 9/11 for new world order. And it's him sitting at a desk. We need to use this disaster for what the president's father called a new world order. That's an exact quote. So that's why it's so important to get this article out. Top Clinton official, only a terror attack can save Obama. What have I been saying for the last 6 months when he went down below a 50% approval rating, now at 40 and dropping a point or so every week in free fall? I said only a terror attack. A huge staged war will work. Some other type of natural disaster, we're now seeing that, man-made natural disaster. It's a man-made disaster that's now a disaster in nature, I guess will be the proper way to put it. Environmental disaster, a border disaster. Notice how they tell Arizona, we're not going to let you fix that problem. The thousands of dead. You're the kidnapping capital of the United States now. Over 80 miles of the country off limits to citizens. And Obama told Senator Kyle a month ago, we can't let it get better. We've got to let it collapse so we can have a North American Union, so we can have legalization of the illegals. What did the Banff Canada meeting 2006, declassified 2007, say? We will use border crises to merge Canada and Mexico into a unified security perimeter around the North American continent from Alaska to the southern border of Mexico with Guatemala. Don't let a good crisis go to waste. This is their methodology. We have their playbook. We know. They think you're so stupid and so pathetic that they will sit there all over the news. I mean, Watson's got a bunch of examples of them in the news saying Obama needs another Oklahoma City or another 9/11 with the thinnest of veiled threats. I described it earlier as thick as a Bible page. I mean, it is see-through. 100%. And they are desperate, and they are using every crisis they can. And remember, people say, well, this crisis, the oil is going to destroy Obama. The collapsing border and this lawsuit against Arizona is going to destroy Obama. Obama's socialist health care, it's so unpopular. Over 70% in polls when they passed it, we're against it, even higher now. The media puts out whitewash polls of 60% or so, 55, 60. Why would he do this? Because his job is to take all the heat. You know, my parents have a cockatoo. And the cockatoo is the New World Order. Here's my parable or analogy. And they put birdcage liner in every couple of days. They put the Austin American-Statesman newspaper, the local paper, in it's there for its droppings and for the food it doesn't eat that drop. The bird wastes about half the food it eats and plays with it. And there's all this food and crap at the bottom of it. And Barack Obama is the birdcage liner. And the New World Order is crapping on us and dropping food on us, and we're blaming the birdcage liner. And it's nasty, and it's gross, and it's ugly, and it's... But still, the bird is the issue. George W. Bush, birdcage liner. Here's another analogy, or another parallel to what we're talking about. We're always focusing on the red cape. We're the bull. Well, we're smarter than a bull, but we don't act like that. And the matador uses that red, and he comes up and throws little darts in the back of the bull to get the bull out of sorts, angry. One dart is the oil spill. Another dart is the imploding economy. Another dart's the open borders. Another dart is socialist health care. Another dart is police refusing to stop criminals now openly. This has always been the policy in the last 100 years. Now it's just public. So they're throwing all these darts in, and we just get enraged with anger, and now he gets out his red cape. And he likes to toy with us. And so the bull runs by, and he laughs, and roses are thrown to him by the people in the stands around him in Barcelona. The whole world is a stage. Each of us players upon it, as Shakespeare said. And we charge through. And that's the equivalent of them openly saying, we need a terror attack in the newspaper. These ignorant fools will never even notice what we're talking about. You know, Gary Hart's writing public letters about how they stage terror attacks, thinking we're too stupid to understand it. It's all just a little inside joke to them. And so the matador does that. And then finally the bull's got snot coming out his nose. He's angry. He's exhausted. This bullfight's gone on for 35 minutes. And the matador pulls out his sword, long and sharp, and he puts the red cape out. And the bull charges, and he steps aside, and the bull impales itself. And the matador, with precision, stands before the New World Order crowd, and they cheer him, and they throw the rose petals at him. And the senoritas want to go out with him that night. And everybody buys him drinks at the bar, and he's wealthy. He's the star. I don't focus on Barack Obama, the red cape. I don't focus on George W. Bush or Sarah Palin or Glenn Beck being set up for a fall, the birdcage liner. I focus on the bird. I focus on the matador. I focus on the head, the brain, the system, the control arm, the philosophy. And if we are able to expose this paradigm to people, if we are able to reveal this to the population, if we are able to cause a exponential viral understanding and common sense awakening to these tools that are used and point people at the mountains, encyclopedia on top of encyclopedia of admissions, because the elite, you know, there's tens of thousands of high-level minions that orchestrate this for the few hundred elite, or it's even less, really, if you break it down. Rothkopf, the head of the Kissinger Group, in his best-selling book, called it the superclass, said there's 6,000 mega managers and less than 100 owners. They can't get away with this if you're aware of them, but they have to communicate with their 6,000 operatives. So it's all out there. It's all there for you if you'll just go pick their playbook up. You know, in the NFL, they guard those playbooks. The globalists think you're so stupid, they leave playbooks laying around all over the place for you. But you're too busy listening to the latest Mel Gibson family spat. You're too busy watching big people fall that you think are big and feeling good about yourself. You're too busy making fun of Lindsay Lohan and feeling powerful when she fails and is human. You're too busy worshiping LeBron James, who has the chosen one tattooed blasphemously on his back, and on a power trip thinking he's a god. Life will guarantee show him that he's just a man. You know, the beginning of wisdom is being humble and realizing we're all just humans. But together, through our species and through doing the right thing, that's what gives us beauty and power and strength and honor, not being a bunch of arrogant, skin-deep fools. So we are at this crossroads right now. And I want to play for you the clip from C-SPAN This was just a few days after 9/11 with the Hart-Rudman CFR Commission talking about using 9/11 for a new world order. Here it is.
There is a chance for the President of the United States to use this disaster to carry out what his father, a phrase his father used, I think, only once, and hasn't been used since, and that is a new world order. New world coming. America will become increasingly vulnerable to hostile attack on our homeland, and our military superiority will not entirely protect us. Americans will likely die on American soil, possibly in large.
Yeah, that's a clip from Road to Tyranny, the worst res I've ever seen somebody put on YouTube. You can see it in high quality in my film, Road to Tyranny, on DVD, 3-hour film breaking down their operations from 2002. And you watch that film today, 8 years later, it's more pertinent today than when I made it because almost everything that we broke down has now come true.